Simon Dixon, our guest, Ravi Batra, talks about reforms coming in the end of this year when the U.S. Elections take place. The only type of reform that I can see coming from the United States, I don't know if you agree with this, is that's preventing that disaster there, is that all of these debts are expressed in dollars. The United States can no longer service its debt. Usually what they do is that they print U.S. dollars. That's the only thing I see the United States is doing. Is that what's happening?
That's right.
What we're seeing, right?
Simon Dixon, please, go ahead.
It's a bit of an illusion that they're printing money, because what we have to remember is only about 3% of money in the United States comes as a result of governments actually creating money. 97% comes from loans from the banking sector through the credit market. So what we're seeing is what they're looking for is increases in bank lending as well. So if banks are going to be creating all that money, then it's really important where that's actually directed. But no, we're not seeing any real reforms. The biggest opportunity for reforms that I see are not from the States, but from the countries that are actually going to reject the euro, that are going to rebuild and create their own currencies, and figure out how to reform their banking system away from one that pushes money into property and creates debt for consumer debt and credit cards, and one that actually lends for businesses and job-creating activities.
And I assume that the first country would be Greece, correct?
I think Greece have the perfect opportunity. Whether they'll take it or not is another question. And they have that perfect opportunity, really, to rebuild, reject the euro, rebuild their own currencies, and reform their banking.
Well, Simon Dixon, tell us what we're looking at. Is this a worst-case scenario right now? Governments defaulting on their debts, a run on European banks, and a worldwide credit crunch, reminiscent of the financial crisis in 2008?
Absolutely, yeah. And the end and the problems, and when it's real reform that needs to come next, you have to remember that this isn't a natural disaster. This is all a human creation. There are solutions to this. But when you start seeing the credit rating downgrades, and when you start seeing governments continually spending all their time in financial management trying to find new markets for their debt, then it becomes completely counterproductive, and that's when you start to move into a depressive environment, which we've only been saved due to bailouts and ridiculous pushing off of the inevitable.
We thank our guest, CEO of banktothefuture.com, Simon Dixon from London. And you were just listening to Professor of Financial System at Rey Juan Carlos University, David Gomez from Madrid, and Professor of Economics from Southern Methodist University, Ravi Batra from Dallas. And thank you for watching another edition of the Press TV News Analysis. Any questions or comments, do send them. Newsroom@presstv.ir is our email address. From me, Kaveh Tafway, and the entire team here in the Capital Tehran, goodbye.